Hello, friends. Welcome to, 1, 2, 3. Hello, friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, the Walrus portion of the Walrus and the Fairy. Little bit of a channel update. So, there's going to be at least 2 videos from here on out. One is going to be where me and the Fairy talk about whatever we want to talk about. And then there's going to be at least one other video every day. It's going to be political commentary or gaming news or whatever I want to talk about. So yeah, that's what's going to be going on. Leanne, the Fairy, said she might do some commentary too. I don't know. I kind of hope she does. Kind of gets the channel rolling. But what I wanted to talk about is, you remember several months back, last year, with that viral video, this viral picture. This little girl at the border, she was crying, and the media ran with she was being separated from her mother, and of course we found out later she was never really separated from her mother. It was she was just a couple feet away or whatever, but the story went viral. And you remember how some activists on the left were saying Republicans caused this, Republicans want to tear apart children. They called us fascists, said we were separating families. And I said, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I kind of also meant it, that maybe us conservatives, we should get together and gather up a bunch of photos of, dead children, that have just been left to die in the desert by these coyotes, and push that, and then just call the left a bunch of assholes and say they don't care about this. And of course our argument would have more merit than theirs, because we're actually trying to, at least for Trump, we're actually trying to solve the issue. They just want to. I think Elizabeth Warren came out today and said, decriminalize. She didn't say it would still be illegal to be in the country illegally, but essentially crossing the border illegally would be decriminalized. So yes, they're not. The Democrat Party has not embraced left-wing fanaticism, has not embraced globalism, and certainly has not turned its back on the American people. But just the other day, I wanted to point this out. 3 children and a woman found dead along the border in Texas. Now, read the story. It does say that finding children is kind of odd, but I want to point out that these are just the ones we find. I think it is something like 5 to 7 children a year we find. That's just the children. We find a lot more adults and teenagers. I think I don't have the exact numbers on me, but I think it's upward of 50 or so a year, and that's just the ones we find. That's just the ones along the border and That's not counting the ones that wander off into the desert and just die. We don't know, and that's not the ones that are killed along the journey. So this has always frustrated me, especially when Trump shut the government down earlier this year. And people were saying the wall was immoral. The wall is immoral. It's immoral. And the argument, of course, made no sense to me. A wall would obviously, for one thing, it's physical. It's a physical barrier. If you don't know anything about physical security, I suggest you look up the 5 levels of security. You have surveillance, presence, physical barriers, and then past that, I think you get into lethal force. It's been a while since I've done force protection training. But physical barriers obviously work. Now, I haven't heard any good arguments from the left against the wall. In fact, the one good argument I've heard against the wall came from a right-wing perspective. I think it was Tony Katz on the radio. He was talking about how our laws are written, since the wall would obviously be on our soil. Once they got up and touched the wall or got on top of the wall, they could claim asylum. Illegal immigrants could claim asylum, because the wall would essentially be U.S. government property. They can go there and claim. So it has something to do with the way embassies work, and of course it would be on our soil. So once they touch it, they're on our soil. That's the only argument I've heard that's actually decent. But yes, it always was. The immoral argument was always pissed me off. Always absolutely enraged me. What is immoral is not enforcing our borders. What is immoral is encouraging this dangerous practice to continue. What is immoral is ignoring the effects of mass immigration on both our labor force and the countries we're taking these people from, because these people are leaving these countries. They're taking away manpower, youth a lot of times, and this is just, in our case it's the lower class. But then when you talk about regular immigration, you're talking about brain drain. It seems to me. Well, I'll just say this. For the longest time, illegal immigration has been the quintessential issue of our time. And some people sit there, oh, well, Trump brought it up. No, this issue has been going on for a long time. It's just been ignored by the media, ignored by our politicians. It's all been platitudes. It's not been actually trying to fix the issue. And the reason why the issue hasn't been fixed is really quite simple. The worst part of the Republican Party needed the illegal immigration to undercut wages, and the worst part of the Democrat Party needed the immigration to get votes. Now, on to our good friend Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. When I first saw these photos, I have a little puppy. The photo, the Walrus and Fairy video tomorrow will be about her. And she's acting up. Come here, Pepper. Let the people see you. Give you a quick preview. Alright, never mind. She doesn't want to be picked up right now. When I first saw these photos, I thought they were honest to goodness photoshopped, as someone had taken Congressman Cortez, and from some other thing, and just put her in these photos next to this chain link fence. As people have pointed out, she's wearing, I think they pointed out that this suit that she's wearing is like $600. That's a Gucci watch. And of course, you're not really seeing the conditions inside the camp. Cortez and Ilhan Omar have, of course, been blocking this recent quote-unquote bipartisan bill to fund these facilities more. What she calls concentration camps, I call them refugee camps. I think that's a more accurate description. But she's been blocking a vote to get them more funding. She, of course, wants an amendment. I think I read she wants an amendment to abolish ICE added on, which is, of course, ridiculous. If we abolish ICE, more people will just try to make the journey. More people will just wander off into the desert and die. More people will be sex trafficked. More people will be exploited by coyotes. So, she claims morality while allowing this stuff to go on and refusing to deal with the actual problem. But of course, it is to be fair, in her mind, she is being more out moral because I hate to put words in her mouth, but her and people like her believe that the concept of a nation state is outdated, which is of course ridiculous. But that's all I wanted to say for this video. I could go on for a while about this issue, and I'm surprised I didn't get more angry, because it's like I've come full circle. I think I've become so enraged. I'm just kind of just accepted it. Honk honk. I'm on the acceptance stage now. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.